Hello, and welcome back to the Fit Girl Club Confidently You podcast. So, a quick recap on last week's episode. Thank you for all the amazing feedback that I got. I know a lot of you loved and resonated Laura's story, so thanks for all your comments. Keep those coming in. Feel free to send me anything things you resonate with, anything at all. Send them through on social media or by email. I love hearing from you. So today's topic is something I am so passionate about, and if you've ever worked with me, you'll know how much I actually geek out about this. It's probably why I'm in the right profession, really. One, being a coach and helping women, and two, I'm just a bit obsessed with nutrition and feeling good and the science behind it, and I'm just here to cut through all that nutrition confusion. Honestly, girls, the amount of you that message me or text me so confused about contradicting information that you see online is outstanding, and I'm here to cut through all the rubbish. So, buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's not really. It's going to be simple science. And when you come away from this episode, I want you to have some clarity on what you should be doing, how you should be eating, and just some simple tools and tips that you can put into your daily life to make you feel better and not be scared of different food or food groups or demonisation. Absolutely no time for that BS around here. Absolutely not. So, I promise to simplify nutrition, debunk fear-mongering, and I believed all the rubbish too, okay? There was a point where I believed it as well, so I'm absolutely here for you. So today's episode is nutrition basics, what to actually believe, and what is complete rubbish. So the nutrition confusion crisis. So the current landscape at the minute, sigh, audible sigh, insert here. As a qualified nutritionist and someone who's helped women for 6 years through science-backed nutrition, okay, everything I teach you is science-backed, nothing is made up. It really disappoints me to see so much rubbish online. Now, there are so many conflicting rules, and you can literally find evidence for any diet approach, and it's no wonder that you're confused, okay? So there's people I don't want to say names because I don't want to give them any airtime. If you know them, you know who I'm talking about. So there's people out there, and I'll say people, who will demonise carbohydrates, but fruit as well. That's the scariest thing. Some of these things are so nutritionally dense and so good for you and lacking in so many people's diets, and then you've got people saying, don't eat this, it's bad for you, toxic. Now, I find that women come to me and they're paralysed with fear about food choices, and I used to be in that camp as well, so I'm not judging anyone. I'm never here to judge. I'm here to educate and hopefully help. My biggest win is having someone turn around to me and go, thank you so much for, changing my mind on that, because it was killing me. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. So some examples of contradictory advice that you might have seen online. Carbs after 6 p.m. are bad. Gosh. Fruit has too much sugar. Breakfast is going to make you put on weight. Eating breakfast is going to make you put on weight. Or alternatively, it's the other side of it is you have to eat breakfast as well. Snacking is going to make you fat. And the result, women are Googling every food before you're eating it. How many of you have asked, hand up, if you've asked ChatGPT? I haven't asked ChatGPT, but in the past I would Google certain things is this good? Is this bad? Should I be eating this? What's a healthy food? And it's a minefield. I've honestly had clients come to me scared of bananas. Clients asking me, can I eat a steak? Can I eat this? Can I do this? And it's baffling for them. And this is creating this food anxiety all the time. So why is this happening? So everyone wants to be a nutrition expert online. Fear-mongering gets more clicks than balance. So negative news just gets more clicks. It's the most frustrating thing as a coach. If I put something out there with a negative hook, I'll get more views usually. And I don't like to do it. It's clickbait. If someone's trying to sell you a quick fix, or if they're telling you this is the only way, that's also not right either. If it's something new and it's the only way, just stop sometimes and think, does this actually make sense? Or message me. The fitness industry, unfortunately, some of the fitness industry, I'm going to add a caveat needs to be added there, because there are a lot of good coaches out there. I'm not the only coach giving science-backed advice. but there are a lot of good coaches out there, but a lot of the fitness industry profits from your confusion. If you've ever tried to diet and you've lost weight on that said diet with its rules, whatever diet that may be, whether it's the Fast 800, whether it was Slimming Clubs, whether it was restrictive diets, okay, and you've lost weight, so you think it works, because it does, because you lose weight, but then as soon as you stop that diet, you put it all back on, and sometimes more, and you have to be on that diet to lose weight, it's not worked. Your end goal shouldn't be to always be on a diet. It should be lasting change your habits, change your eating, so that it lasts for life, without restriction. That sounds like a magical, mythical land, but it's true. I've had clients do it. I know other coaches that have had clients do it. I've got a lady at the minute who's just worked with me for 9 months, and she'll never have to diet again. Never have to track food again. And she's gone from a size 16 to a size 12. If you want her details, I'll send them to you. She'll be coming on this podcast at some point as well to tell her stories. That would be a great example. But it can be done. But the problem is, like I said there, it takes 9 months. It took her 9 months of consistency. A lot of you don't want to wait 9 months. And that's the decision you have to make. Do you want lasting results, which might take a bit longer, or do you want the next quick fix or fad diet? So the emotional toll of all these contradicting informations, there's anxiety around food choices, orthorexia is developing, which is an obsession with perfect eating. You might have heard the phrase almond mum, and if someone's an almond mum, it means that they are literally so restrictive with the children and they don't have any, no sugar, salt, anything. That's why they're called almond mums, because they're like, everyone must eat clean. And that's going to have an effect on your children and their development as well. It's so hard because you also don't want them to be eating McDonald's 24/7. They've got to find the right balance. And this is where education comes in. And if you don't know the education around it, how are you expected to teach your children about it? So it's really important to learn nutrition education for you and for your family. People might avoid social events due to food fear. Have you ever done that? Have you not gone somewhere because you're scared of what food will be on offer, or you go somewhere and you really want to eat like the buffet and you don't because you don't want to eat that, or you don't want to eat in front of people. I've done that years ago, by the way. I don't do any of these things now, just to add that in. I don't do any of these things now, but years ago, I'm like, no, I'm not hungry. Then you'd go home and binge in private, secret eater. Are you a secret eater? I was a secret eater. So constant mental load about the right and wrong foods. So just constantly thinking about it. So we've overcomplicated eating. Humans have successfully done this for thousands of years. Obesity has only come in the past, really, 30, 40 years. My grandparents didn't count macros. They just ate. To be honest with you, my gran, who died this year, bless her, she was 106, right? Most of the time growing up, she ate lard, which is just fat. Loved a cake a day, but she walked, she moved, she ate fruit and veg, and they had a lot smaller portions, and there wasn't as much UPF around there. I'm not going to demonise UPF, but there wasn't as much. Food wasn't as readily available. So, it's time to strip it back to basics. So let's talk about the demonisation of different food groups. So you've got the 3 main food groups, and we're going to go through each one. So first and foremost, carbs, because it's the most demonised. Well, it used to be, especially in recent years. Yeah, I'd say the 90s fat was demonised, but it's carbs recent years. Protein's not been demonised, not yet. It might be jumped on that train soon. So the current narrative is carbs make you fat. I used to believe this. Bread is bad, carbs are toxic, carbs spike your insulin and store fat. Now this is a newish one that they're really pushing in, and it's so loaded with misinformation. Carbs are the enemy. Have you ever noticed that if something hits really hard, it's got partial truths in, and that's how it resonates better? So carbs making you fat and carbs are toxic doesn't really work as well, but carbs spike your insulin and store fat. Your ears prick up, don't you? If someone tells you that, it sounds reasonable, because carbs do give you a sugar spike. That's what they're there for. But unless you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, it doesn't actually have a negative impact on your life. So that's where the truth comes in, because if you ever, I don't recommend doing this, but if you ever did get a blood sugar monitor or look up blood sugar spikes, you'll notice, or eat just a high carb meal. When you've had a massive meal, you feel tired because it's spiked your insulin, you've got that sugar thing, and then you crash, and then you come back to normal. But I'll give you tools and tricks to help with that in a minute. But it doesn't mean that carbs are bad. It's just how your body responds to them. It's just how your energy gets pulled out of that food. So I eat carbs every single day. I've actually just had my breakfast and it's oats. I'll eat rice, pasta, bread. I love bread. Sourdough. Good quality. Quality though now. You know, if I'm having rice, I like to have brown rice because it's got more nutrients. Potatoes, I like to have sweet potato. I do have white potato, but I like to keep the skin on for a bit more fibre. It's just more informed choice. They fuel me. I'm a runner now. I need fuel. I do not go out for a run on an empty stomach. Absolutely not. Or, I don't know, some nuts. That they just go straight through me. The other day I had some toasted taurine, jam, cherry jam, peanut butter, banana before I run. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Fuel. Great. I'm the healthiest I've ever been and I've maintained my weight for years. The energy from carbs is brilliant and it gives me a strong training performance. I wouldn't, honestly, we'll talk about my training another day because I used to not eat and then I'd be passing out nearly. Never actually passed out, but I've very nearly passed out before because I used to skip meals because I thought that was what I needed to do to lose fat. Disclaimer, it's not. So what actually matters? So for fat loss, it's your total calorie intake. Doesn't matter how that's made up. And if you've ever worked with me, you'll know I don't make you count macros as well. Calories are king. Number one, fat loss is calories. It's just calories. You can gain weight and body fat from too much of anything. You could gain weight from overeating broccoli, but it's really hard to do it because a full daily allowance of broccoli is such a high volume that your stomach would be so full. That's why it's harder to overconsume certain foods because they're more filling. So it'd fill you up too much and you couldn't eat it. So types of carbs matters. So I do prefer eating brown wholemeal sourdough. It tastes good as well. I don't particularly like white bread anymore. I had some when I was training for my ultra because I thought it'd be good intake and I found it really dry and just a bit bland. That's just a personal choice. But think of like health as well as fat loss. They can come together. And your health and your body is running on food as fuel. You eat the food and your body absorbs the nutrients. So if you're not giving it nutrients, it's not going to have energy. If you take away this sort of feeling of like just stuff making you fat or thin, because that one food doesn't make you fat and one food doesn't make you thin, it's overconsumption of many foods. And that can be healthy foods as well, because I do get a lot of women that come to me and go, but I'm really healthy. Gosh, girl, if I sat with a bag of dates and a bag of almonds, I could consume my daily calorie allowance in an hour easily. Probably have bad tummy though. So it's not carbs that are universally bad. So what this fear creates is you avoiding rice, potatoes, pasta, missing out on nourishing, satisfying food. Like, I love a bit of pasta as well. Yes, I know it's not the most nutrient dense in my life, but it's good. It's good for the soul. You've got to have food as well that's good for your heart and your soul. And if you do a really good homemade spaghetti bolognese with your homemade sauce, turkey mince, loads of veggies in there and a bit of pasta, honestly, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Comfort food. It's not bad for you. No food is bad for you. You need to eradicate this narrative. No food is bad for you. Okay? Repeat that to yourself until you believe it. You've got nutrient dense, non-nutrient dense, calorie dense, non-calorie dense. So when I've had carbs, I would dream about bread, and then restriction leads to binging. No matter what you do, if you say you're not allowed something, you will want it. And when you get hold of that forbidden fruit, it's showtime. Secret eating. I don't secret eat anymore. I don't need to. So I felt awful. I'd go all week. I'd be no bread, clean eating, everything. I've talked about this many times before, but I'll always repeat myself. And then on the weekend, it'd be binge, massive binge. And it was exhausting. It was a cycle. So the truth is, carbs aren't bad. Overeating any food group is the issue, and they're just food. So, number 2 is fat. So in the early 90s, in the 90s and early 2000s, fat was the devil. Everything low fat or fat free. Everyone was terrified of butter. most slimming clubs are low-fat diets. If you look at slimming clubs mantras, because I've actually researched this thoroughly, because I was actually going to do a bit of a dig about one of the slimming clubs. Then I looked at their actual meal plans or what they recommend to eat, and I was like, oh no, that's actually quite good food. It's just clean eating, but I just don't like the language is used around it. And I also hate that you go and weigh yourself every week, because that's not a good metric of success. But I will talk about that in another podcast. That's a whole podcast about weighing yourself, because absolutely not. And I don't like the whole, you get up on stage, if you've not lost weight, you've had a bad week. If you have lost weight, you've had a good week. And it just doesn't, that negative it's just not good. It's not going to get you success. It's in the long run. And they also don't teach you how to come off the diet and how to live. So everything was low fat and fat free, and everyone was terrified of butter. So now you've got people keto. Keto isn't as prevalent anymore, but keto, if you've never tried it, I tried it. It's where like you have 80% fat in your diet, butter in your coffee, olive oil on everything. Fat is like magical. It's not, it's just a calorie deficit. But ketosis is actually a thing. So this is where like partial truths in something work, because then people hook on to those truths. Because if you are a professional athlete and you want to get the most out of your training, you can have a keto diet and your body will then use fat as energy. And if you are fat adapted, you can use better fuel sources. So you can be a better athlete, you can have more energy. But getting into ketosis is so hard. It takes about 2 weeks. You have to literally 80% fat. Do you know how hard it is to do this? I tried. I don't think I actually got into it. You can't have even vegetables would send you over. It's so restrictive. And then it's the long-term implications of, if you're eating a lot of fat, fatty cholesterol builds up in your body. It's not good for your heart. It's just like, there's so many detrimental things, and it's not applicable for everyone. Like, I've had people message me before, and they're like, oh, I'm doing keto. I'll laugh a bit, because then I'm like, oh, right, how long have you been doing it? And like, yeah, 6 months or something, it's amazing, or whatever they say. I'm like, oh, right, what's your diet look like? And then they'll be like, oh, I have a cheat day once a week. I'm like, you're not in ketosis then. It's the most restrictive diet out there. You could be prescribed this by a doctor if you had a serious medical issue. It's the hardest one to do. Yeah. Here's where the flip side is. So if you're constantly going for fat-free alternatives, what tends to happen is, if you look at the ingredients on stuff, if it doesn't have as much fat in, if it's taken out, they'll tend to put sugar in, because if it doesn't have, it's got to have a macronutrient. So fat-free alternatives aren't necessarily always good for you. They can be ultra-processed as well. Look at like butter and margarine, like low-fat spread. If you look at some of the ingredients on low-fat spread and it's got X, Y, Z and all the alphabet in, just use your brain. Think majority whole food is what we're going to say. Like, butter is better for you, but I don't really have butter in my food because I don't need it. I have healthy fats like avocado, but I don't overconsume it, because fats are higher in calories than carbs and protein. Okay, this isn't demonising fats, but this is why it's easy to overconsume fats. Healthy fats. I'll have nuts and seeds every morning. Chia seeds, they've got fats in. I'll have some fatty fish during the week, maybe some olives. It's like, and I call this a treat, because they're like, a small pack of olives is quite a lot of calories, and they're really consuming, they're so tasty. But you need like a bit of olive oil, perfect, when you're cooking your food, but not a pan of olive oil. It's about looking at things and being educated about how to eat things in moderation and what's good for your health. Then the last one is protein. It's a current obsession. Everyone's obsessed with it. I don't think this will ever get demonised. Everyone's a protein expert. You must hit 1 gram per pound of body weight, or you'll lose all your muscle. Sorry. I think this is just, it's gone too far. And it's gone too far, especially when you look in supermarkets with marketing. You look at something, it'll say protein, and it'll be one of the worst ones I see is like a nut bar, fruit and nut bar. And it's like, protein. Yes, nuts have protein in, but they are majority fats. So you look at the calories, and it's a 250 calorie nut bar, and it's got 5 grams of protein in. That's not the best source of protein. You better just to have, a fruit and nut bar, or a handful of fruit and nuts, and then having some high protein Greek yogurt. The best sources of protein come from natural sources. lean meats, some dairy, like yogurt, high protein yogurt, cottage cheese, fantastic, even though that's a bit of an obsession at the minute. You don't have to put it in everything. You just have it. And then beans and legumes are lower in protein as well, but if you are vegetarian or vegan, it is hard to get higher protein. Eggs have some protein in, but they also have healthy fats in. Yes, I have them every day as well. And if you are vegan, tofu is fantastic. Soy products. I'm very, very intolerant. Makes me very ill. Makes me feel hungover, which is an odd sensation for someone that's been sober for 4 years, 4.5 years. But they're your great protein sources. All these things that say protein on them, like different breads, I take it with a pinch of salt, but some of them, like protein crumpets, just get a crumpet and then add some, have a protein source with it. I just don't see the hype and also paying extra money for it. Cereal is predominantly carbs, carbohydrates. Most cereals made up of carbohydrates. Add some protein milk with it or some protein yogurt. I don't actually have protein powder, just a disclaimer. It's something I talk about a bit. I don't ever tell you not to have something in your diet. I personally don't have certain things. I just don't really like it. But I lie because I had some this morning because I've run out of yogurt and Martin's gone shopping. But it's very rare. I just don't like it's a bit synthetic in taste. And that's me. I've gone far too, the other way sometimes with eating good quality food. But if you struggle to get enough protein in your diet and you get a good protein powder, look at the ingredients and get a good one, or message me, I can help you. It's a great way of adding protein into your diet. So, yes, protein is important, really important. It keeps you full, it supports your muscle growth, it does have a higher thermic effect, so basically when you eat it, it takes longer to break down, so it keeps you fuller for longer. That's what that means. But you don't need to stress about exact numbers. Now, when I get new clients working with me, you'll track your food intake, and if you're on 50 grams of protein a day, some 40, I'd be like, right, let's go up to 70 or 80 or 90. 100 would be ideal. For some of you, you might already be on 100, 125 will be better. If you're training 3 or 4 times a week and weight training, 125 to 150 might be more beneficial for you. It is an individual thing, but if yours is below 100, usually, this is my usual rule of thumb, try and increase it to over 100, but gradually increase it because you get the effect, obviously, in eating more protein on your stomach. And that's why protein powders, especially for women, can affect our stomachs because of the lactose in them. But just gradually increase. Baby bells, 5 grams of protein in a little baby bell, and very tasty. But there's no need to obsess. This is the thing. I'm going to steer you away from obsessing over things. If you make everything about protein, you'll just lose your enjoyment and stuff. Majority of meals, try and fit protein in. Plan your week. Plan protein in every meal. But if you're going out for a meal out, don't worry about it. If you want to have the whatever it is and it doesn't have any protein in, have it. One meal's not going to affect you. One day's not going to affect you. It's about consistency over time. And don't make protein your entire personality. That's funny. I am protein. You don't want to be that friend out and how much protein's in this in a cafe and stuff like that. But the more educated you become about nutrition, you'll be able to read a menu and know how much protein is in stuff, or if it is high protein. This is another thing I teach my girls in my coaching, so that they have the autonomy to know and they're empowered to go out and live their lives and still reach all the goals. So here's some of the basics that actually matter. So I talked about energy balance is king. So to lose fat, calorie deficit, that is it. To gain weight, calorie surplus, that is it. Now, some of you might be like, yeah, but I've been in a calorie deficit for 6 years and I've not lost any weight. So you're not. Number one, you're not. Unless, right, I've had a couple of people that I've ever worked with in 6 years, and I've worked with hundreds of women. Now, I did work with a lovely 70-year-old lady, and she had kidney failure or kidney disease? Maybe the same thing, but she's had it for a few years. And no matter what we did, she could not lose body fat. She was in a deficit, she was doing certain things. Now, I referred her to a professional dietitian. Now, a dietitian is someone that's medically trained to help you. A nutritionist can give advice about nutrition. A dietitian is medically trained, so they'll take blood samples, stool samples, everything. Okay, so if you've got any serious bowel issues, go to a dietitian. Or get referred to one by your doctor. If you just want to lose fat, be healthier and have more energy, come to a nutritionist like me. yeah, I was going to say for fat loss, but then I already said that. So she really couldn't lose fat. And then I had another lady that I worked with who'd gone through quite a lot of, I call it trauma, because if you've gone through like a traumatic childbirth, she had sepsis actually. I thought she had a blood diffusion. She had sepsis, she was really unwell, like nearly died. And then her body just didn't ever seem to want to lose fat, and she'd put on weight so easily. Like she'd literally eat a couple of things and her body balloon. And I honestly believe with her, I got her referred to so many different people, but gosh, it was so hard getting her help. But I honestly think with her, her body was just in such a, like in a shock status from all the trauma it had. And it sometimes takes a few years to get back to equilibrium and back to homeostasis. And if you've had a child, you know, it can take a long time to get back into like your body running to, I say quotation marks, normal. It takes time after these hormone fluctuations and everything has gone on. So 2 cases in hundreds, I mean hundreds, probably thousands of women that I've helped. Everyone else, you are either not tracking correctly, which might not be your fault because these tracking apps aren't an exact science, or you're just not being honest. You are not being honest, because for majority, I'd say 97% of women, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. If you're not in a calorie deficit, what can happen is, if you hear people go, I'm not eating enough to lose fat, I'm in starvation mode, that's not a thing. What's happening is, you're eating 1,000 calories a day, and it gets to the weekend and you have a cheat day and you're eating 7,000 calories. Believe me, it can be done. Side note on this, I've currently started watching on YouTube, and I don't know how I've got into it, but I absolutely love it. It's like, as a fat loss coach, it's like little education for me, and I honestly think some of you should go on and watch a few of these episodes, because if you struggle with losing body fat and you think you're being honest and nothing's working and you're doing everything right, go watch an episode of Secret Eaters, because you might be a secret eater, because these people on this TV show, I watched it years ago when it was on. Now, I don't know why I'm watching it back on YouTube, but it's so interesting, like the psychology around it. These people, honestly, don't believe that they're overeating. They're like adamant about it. You wouldn't go on TV and be like, yeah, I've done a food diary, I eat really healthy, I only eat like 2,000 calories a day. And then, you know there's cameras there and private detectives, and they are eating 4,000, 6,000 calories a day. A guy the other day had a 2,500 calorie breakfast. He was putting like cream in his honestly. But they're adamant. And I don't think, how can you be that like adamant that you're not doing it? They've made it such a secret to themselves that they're just not accountable. So number one, if nothing's working, are you being honest and accountable with yourself? Every single minute of every day. And I don't just mean Monday to Friday. You've got to count those weekends too. And you might be like, oh, but that's a chore and I like to have a treat on a weekend. But if you don't stay accountable, you'll never know. And then you stay accountable, and then you find out, right, the weekends are my problem, I'm over consuming. Then you look at, right, how can I change this? That's all you need to do. Take away the emotion and put some logic into it. Right, I've gone down a rabbit hole of coaching there, but if you need more help, you need to message me, because this is what I specialise in, and I'll help you. So, no amount of clean eating overcomes eating too much. This is what I've talked about. Even if you eat healthy, you can't out healthy a calorie surplus. So it doesn't matter. You could overconsume in broccoli. This is 90% of the equation. Calories. But it's so much more complex than that. You've got emotional sides, you've got values, you've got years of things that you've learned over, like either from your parents or from your peers or people around you, and habits. And it's like, it's your environment as well. It's like who you spend your time with and how you act. Speaking to my partner the other day, and if I wasn't who I am, and I wasn't like, no, that's all right, I don't want that, me and him would definitely overeat, because he quite easily, if there's something in the cupboard, he'll be like, oh, let's eat all this. And I'm like, no, we don't need that now. Or I made dinner the other night, and he was like, oh, why don't we have this with it? Or every time I have dinner, he's like, let's have garlic bread with it. I'm like, no, we don't need that. We have good filling, tasty meals. We don't need garlic bread with it every night. So sometimes, and I'm not saying like your partner or whoever you live with or whatever is a saboteur, but sometimes maybe it's looking at each other, and if you are both quite easily swayed, it does have an impact. So maybe look at that, and there are ways around it. You can just make a pact to, let's just get no takeaways and make fakeaways, and let's support each other because I really want to do this and I'm fed up of feeling the way I feel. So the nuance with calories are king is calorie quality does affect how you feel. So I always use the Kit Kat diet example. If you ate 14 Kit Kats, is it 14? They're 100 calories, a 2-finger Kit Kat. 102 calories, I think. So if you ate 14 Kit Kats a day, that's about 1,400 calories. Most of you would probably lose body fat, but you would feel like crap. And, oh gosh, your poops, oh. And you'd probably be hungry as well, because even though it's 14 Kit Kats, it's not actually substantial and it's not giving your body what it needs. So you've got to look at all these different things as well. It's not just as easy as, oh, I'm just going to be in a calorie deficit. You've got to learn how to be in a calorie deficit over time and learn to start fueling your body so you feel good, so you can stick to it. Obviously, calories affect overall health, affects satiety. 200 calories of chicken versus 200 calories of crisps have a very different effect. Your crisps are going to go in and they're just going to be soaked up straight away. They've gone. Your stomach acid has gone, bip, bye. That chicken is going to take a long time to break down, and that protein is going to go into your muscles and rebuild them. Those crisps just go in and give you a bit of energy, but not much. So focus on nutrient-dense foods most of the time, and don't fear treats, because the problem with fearing treats is you'll banish them, and you'll want them even more. Forbidden fruit. So you can eat healthy and not lose weight if you eat too much. Get that a lot. And you can include treats and lose weight. It's all about overall balance. I'll say that again because it's a really important statement. You can eat healthy and not lose weight. So all I do is eat healthy and I can't stop putting on weight. You're eating too much, calorie surplus. And you can include treats and lose weight. Plenty of my clients, crisps and wine. Not every day. Well, some have crisps every day. They fit it in. I had a client who years ago, Tracy, I'm going to get her on actually. I'd love to have her on, but she every night had a little cafe latte and a biscuit every night and kept her on track. It just kept her on track and she lost fat. She got to where she wanted to be. So, basic number 2, protein's your friend. It's a friend. It's not, you're not married to it. Keeps you fuller for longer, less likely starving an hour later. So, like if you're having breakfast and it's just carbs, so toast and honey, you're going to be hungry by mid-morning. Add a protein source to it. You don't have to change your breakfast. If you really want toast and honey, you have it, girl. You have toast and honey. But have a high protein yogurt on the side, or a couple of eggs, or a bit of meat, or whatever you need it be. A couple of baby bells on the side. Don't think that meals have to be a set format. Bit of cottage cheese. Actually, I think a bit of cottage cheese, toast and honey would be really nice. Supports muscle maintenance and growth, especially important as we age. After 35, our muscle starts to deteriorate. Yep, very sad news, I know. But if we eat enough protein and strength train and build muscle, we will keep that muscle big and strong. Protein burns more calories while you're digesting it. So while you're eating, your body burns calories. Did you know that? So your body will actually burn. It takes energy to make energy. But protein takes longer, so it'll burn more calories. Ta-da! That's why you feel fuller. So like I said before, minimum, look about 100 grams a day minimum. And it does depend on your size and activity level. But this is a ballpark, 100 to 150. So a simple rule is a palm-sized portion with every meal. And I mean every meal. Like you don't have to worry about it so much with snacks, but if you have, some with every meal, it's going to keep you satisfied throughout the day, not reaching for the biscuit tin. Sources, like I said before, meat, fish is great. White fish, so high protein, really low calorie. Prawns are really good as well. Eggs, dairy, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, legumes, lentils, beans, things like that. Don't overthink it. Just think. Prioritise protein. Don't let it stress you though. And one day low protein, you won't lose all your muscle. You're not just going to disappear. It's consistency over time. So the next basic is eat your veg. Eat your veg. These people that say reduce veg or veg is bad for you, or the carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is literally the worst. The carnivore diet to me just screams kids that didn't like the veg. Who knows? You all know that person who's like, oh, I don't like my veg, I can't eat veg. Oh, shut up, eat veg. Even when you were 6, you're like, what are you on about? Just eat it. So your mum was right, eat your vegetables. Vitamins and minerals for body to function, all your vitamins, all your minerals. You should be eating an array vegetables as well. It's for your gut microbiome. And by array, I mean loads of different colours. Try some different veg. You know, I love running with the seasons. So at the minute we're coming into autumn, winter. So it's, you know, carrot and swede. Oh, need to get some carrot and swede. Carrot and swede, sprouts. You know, those wintry vegetables. Get a stew made. Chuck loads in. The more the better. The different colours. There's so many to choose from frozen to canned. It's so available for everyone. Obviously, fresh is best, but, you know, we have to think of what's going to work long term. Fruits as well. Yep, yes, they've got sugar in, but they're also packed full of nutrients and vitamins. Things like berries, raspberries, blueberries. I get the frozen ones in autumn, winter because they're not great in season. They don't taste very nice. Strawberries I save for the summer when they're British and they're just divine. You know, it's like a treat. We only used to be able to get strawberries in the summer. Is that showing my age? I'm only 38, but I sound like I'm about 80. So aim for a minimum 5 a day, but I promise you, I've had 1, 2 already this morning. I'll probably have about 10 a day, and that's showing off. My plate, like last night, I had 2 tuna steaks, pan fried, and then I literally had a mountain of vegetables. I had peas, sweet corn, broccoli, cauliflower, the farmhouse frozen veg mix, which I really like. Steam that. It's better steamed than microwaved or boiled. Boiling takes it's when it's been frozen. And then I had sweet corn as well and cauliflower rice. And it was a mountain, a vegetable mountain. It was probably 200 calories. And it filled me right up. Don't overcomplicate it. Make some soups, roasted, steamed, raw, doesn't matter. When I'm hungry, if I'm cooking my lunch and it's a bit late, I will get some cherry tomatoes out and I'll just eat them. I actually ate near enough a full thing of cherry tomatoes yesterday whilst making my lunch. If getting a few portions daily, you're ahead of most, well done. Just start prioritising it. Next one is prioritising whole foods over processed most of the time. So this is where the little nuance comes in, because in an ideal world, you'd be eating clean, inverted commas if you're not watching, non-processed food all the time, all right? We know that's the best solution, but we've also got this little thing in our lives called joy. Ooh. We like to socialise. We like to be social creatures. We like to eat out with friends. We like to go to certain places and do certain things. And if you tell yourself you're not allowed to do something that you absolutely love, you will want to do it even more because the psychology around it makes you want even more. So there's no point going, no, I can't do that. I don't eat that either, because it is worse for you in the long run, because you will binge and you will overconsume and then you'll feel guilty. And then the cycle continues. Let's put an end to this. Because the more you give yourself something, the less you'll want it. I used to be obsessed with sweets, jelly sweets. I absolutely love jelly sweets. Every Sunday, I'd have a kilogram packet of jelly sweets, right? Inhaled, gone in a second. Where did they go? Just pure sugar. What was happening to me? Gosh, I must have felt awful. Then I learned about calories, and I was like, oh, that's about 1,000 calories in there. So I banned jelly sweets. Now, I'm very, very obsessive with stuff. You might pick this up from me, like the fact that I couldn't stop drinking, and I'll come on to my sobriety in a few episodes, but once I started drinking I couldn't stop, and that's the reason I became sober. I am very like that. All or nothing is so strong in me, so much so, and I would never recommend this for any one of you because I don't think it necessarily works all the time, but I did actually ban jelly sweets, and because I banned them, and once I say I'm doing something I'll do it, so I didn't eat any for a year and a half, and then now I don't even bother. I've got 4 packs in the cupboard because they were on offer, and I take them with me running sometimes, like when I did the ultra, but I didn't actually have any because I've like got over them because I had too much of them. But normally what would happen is you'd ban something and you'd want it even more. Forbidden fruit. So you're better to just allow yourself it, right? Fix it in with a mixed, with a balanced diet. Once a week, be like, oh, I'm allowed a piece of cake, or I go out for a coffee and cake with my friends because it keeps me on track. There's nothing wrong with that. Find something you enjoy, but don't ban it. But you have to then think the majority of the time wants to be nutrient dense, vitamins, minerals, fibre, filling foods that's going to keep you satisfied. It's less addictive because it's less palatable. That salt and sugar is so moreish when it's in ultra processed food. That's what keeps you coming back for more. So at first, if you've got a diet that's got quite a lot of ultra processed food, you will find, like, if you have to have a sweet treat or sugary sweet, something really sweet, sugary every night, and then you move on to like my pudding, fruit and yogurt, you might be like, oh, this isn't ticking my box, because there's a connection between that and your brain, like a dopamine. But just stick with it, do it for a week, and then over time, you'll actually get used to it, and then you end up just wanting the quality food that you have. So I still eat crisp chocolate pizza. I make my own pizza. It's so much nicer than shop bought. Chocolate, I love the dark salty caramel. And I have like one little bit probably a week, and that's not restriction. Crisps, I don't even really like oily crisps anymore. I do prefer like the pop chips and stuff, the proper lentil ones as well. That's just a personal choice. Examples of whole food are meat, fish, eggs, veg, fruit, rice, potatoes, oats, and anything minimally processed. But a caveat to that as well, I love fudge, absolutely love fudge, and Martin got me some, and I had 3 bits of fudge on Sunday, and then I put it away, back in the cupboard for next week, because I know if I ate that full pack of fudge, it's not going to make me feel good, and you just get to a point where it just becomes too much. But this is habits you need to learn over time, and if you have got an emotional connection to eating, it goes so much deeper than this. Feel free to reach out to me. I can help, because we need to put different processes in place, because that's about changing your neurological pathways. Hydration matters. You need to drink enough water. Most of you aren't drinking enough. 2 to 3 litres a day. When it's hotter and you're more active, even more water. I drink loads of water. I'm absolute fish. Does a fish drink water? But on that note, in summer, especially when we do activity and running and things like that, you're losing salt. I do take electrolytes, but that's the only time I take them. You don't need to be taking electrolytes every day. Just water's fine. I have fizzy water. If you are one of those people that really don't like water, low sugar juice is fine. No added sugar juice is fine. It's better than nothing. Tea, your herbal teas and things are also okay. But if you can, water from the, is always best. Get a big bottle, carry it everywhere with you. I have these SodaStream bottles. It's about a litre, I think. I have probably 6 of them a day. It helps with your energy levels, digestion, skin, reduces false hunger signals, and sometimes you're actually thirsty, not hungry. The way I know that it helps my skin as well, when I go for my sports massage, my masseuse always says you're really well hydrated from touching my skin. I was like, oh, thank you. What a weird compliment, but I absolutely love it. So consistency beats perfection every time. So what most people do over a course of time is what matters. It's what matters the most. It's not about like the micro details. It's not about every single day. It's literally about the whole time frame. So look at absolutely everything you do. Think of your whole week and take a step back and look at it and go, right, I want 80% of that to be spot on with your nutrition and your diet, and then 20%, bit of fun. If you like a drink, if you like a pizza, if you like whatever you like, enjoy it. Progress over perfection as always. And if you have a day off plan or things, you end up going out for a few drinks with your friends, and then it turns into you have too much fun and you end up eating chips and whatever happens, you reset the next day. You don't sit and go, oh, I'm rubbish, oh, I can't do this. No, stop that. Your self-belief is what matters the most. Pick yourself up and go again. Days are just days. Some days are more nutritious, some days are more treats, but it's about the balance over the week, the month, the year that matters. So here's things that you might see online that you don't need to worry about. So I've told you what to think about and what matters, the basics. Let's think about what you don't need to worry about. Meal timing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what time you eat your meals, as long as it works for you. For some of you, you'll be able to skip breakfast and not raid the biscuit tin at 11 a.m. For others, you'll be absolutely ravenous. For me, I found out what works for me is having my breakfast about 8, I get up at 6, breakfast at 8, lunch is about 1, evening meals about 6, but I have a cut off for 7 o'clock at night. Not for fat loss, I don't need to lose fat, not for health, for health, because I found I wasn't sleeping well if I ate later. If you can have a massive meal and go straight to sleep, good for you. You have to work out what works for you. What works for you doesn't work for everyone else. That's why asking your friend who's lost fat, how did you do it? I did this diet and this and that. Doesn't mean it'll work for you. You have to calorie deficit, number 1. But how you get there is up to you. It's about total intake of the week. Meal timing does not affect fat loss. Eat when hungry. Find a pattern that suits you. If you're not hungry in the morning, don't force yourself breakfast. But if you're doing things like, if you're training or doing things, would a banana and a protein yogurt be more beneficial for you? Start looking at your cues, your hunger cues. I used to skip breakfast and sometimes lunch. And then I'd get to evening and I'd be like, I've got 2,000 calories to eat now. feel like a slug. Not good. Intermittent fasting is not necessary. You don't need to intermittent fast to lose weight. It got really popular because basically what it does is gives you a smaller time frame to eat in. So some people eat less. Like I just told you before, I'd skip all day, eat more in the evening. It doesn't work for everyone. If you're hungry in the morning, you need to eat breakfast. What happens as well with a lot of women, we do work better with breakfast, majority of us. And if you're training girls, you should be eating something before you train. That's your energy. And I mean like just some fruit juice or a banana, just something in your stomach to use that energy for. Some people can train fasted, and if you feel like you train fasted and you've got as much energy, fine. But since I started eating before I train, I just train so much better. Now, I've just got so much more fuel and energy to help me. And that's when I did nearly pass out once. I went to a CrossFit class at midday. I hadn't eaten anything since the night before. Did a really heavy clean with the barbell. And with the barbell on my shoulder was like, whoa, nearly went. Terrible. Terrible. Clean eating. So the problem with this phase is it implies that other foods are dirty or bad, a sin. Who uses that word? Not anymore. So it creates morality around food. There's no food is good or bad. There's no sins. There's no bad food, naughty food. Oh, you've been so naughty. So food isn't moral. You're not a better person for eating kale. Just so you know. You're not a better person for eating cake. I had cake on Saturday. Martin's mum brought it round. It was carrot cake. It was bloody divine. Do I eat it every week? No. Do I bite myself? Not really. Was it good? Yes. You have to have a cup of tea though with cake. That's a rule. So what clean eating just like creates this fear, restriction, this obsession with eating perfectly. So when you go like out for a meal or anything, just everything I've talked about, it's just not beneficial for anyone. Okay? It's not good for you. It's not good for your mind. Aim for nourishing food most of the time. Enjoy treats without guilt. Food is just food. Okay? Food is just food. Take everything away. So when you let go of clean eating, no food's off limits, and you choose food based on your goals and what you fancy. And it's liberation. Hey, you are free. So, detox cleanses. The myth that you need to detox your body. You know, you need to detox, cleanse, fast for 4 days. No. Whatever they're selling this week, it usually comes with a price tag, doesn't it? You have to buy this herb, this tea, this to cleanse you. Absolutely not. Your body knows how to cleanse itself, right? The only thing I'd actually ever say that you need a detox from is if you drink a lot of alcohol, because that's a toxin in your body consistently. If you're drinking every night, I will talk about this in another podcast. I'm not against alcohol. If you want to drink, that's fine. I'll just give you the science behind it. But if you're drinking daily, your body is having that toxin. So you may need like a detox from toxins in that way, but not from food. And your liver and kidneys detox you anyway. So the only way I'd say detox from alcohol is just stop drinking alcohol for a bit. To detox, you wouldn't need a tea or a colonic or absolutely anything like that. So what tends to happen when you do a detox or a cleanse is because you're in such a low calorie consumption. So if you do a juice cleanse, it's like 800 calories a day. That's where you're losing the body fat. That's where you lose the weight, plus all the food inside you. So all the stool comes out. Oh, I've lost 2 kilos in a day. Obviously, but as soon as you start eating normal again, you put it all back on. It's not a solution. It just empties your wallet. It's just, honestly, it's such a snake oil giving you a solution. Absolutely not. Save your money. Eat real food, please. If you really want to go and like eat healthy and feel a bit better, get some good food in you. Some good soups and stews and whole foods that are going to make you feel awesome. And big salads and loads of veggies. There is one thing as well that like superfoods was a big thing, especially a few years ago. I see this prevalent, especially when I lived in Australia. Spirulina. I used to have spirulina. It's algae, green algae. I used to put in my smoothies. Absolutely not. You don't need it. You don't need these superfoods. You need food out there. You want a balance of everything. Eat colours of the rainbow. Treat yourself to different things. Try different things. Whole foods. It beats obsessing over. There's not one magic food that's going to make you better or make you lose fat. It doesn't exist. Because if it did, everyone would be doing it. You don't need to count macros obsessively. I've talked about this before, but you don't need to like, oh God, how many carbs are in this? How much fat is in this? Calories, number 1. Try and increase your protein, number 2. That is it. So here's the danger of demonisation. So the psychological impact is when you think foods are bad, they become more desirable. So the forbidden fruit effect that I've talked about. So tell yourself you can't have it and that's all you'll think about. It becomes obsessive. So when you do eat them, you feel guilt and shame after, and you're like, oh, I've ruined my diet, I'm useless, I can't do this, which leads to binge eating, and the exact thing you're trying to overcome. So don't ban foods. Restriction leads to overeating, no control. The more you avoid food, the more likely you are to binge it. Okay? That's the end. That's the science. Okay? So then you've got the social impact that you avoid events if you're trying to clean eat. I've talked about this before, checking menus before you go out. I will always go through with my clients and educate them on a menu and be like, right, what do you really want? They'll send me through a menu. And like I said, my first question is, what do you really want? And they're like, I really want the pizza. And I'm like, well, Sarah, you've been tracking your calories for a month. You've not had a treat. Enjoy the pizza. One off. Go. Bye. I'm going for 3 meals out in the next couple of weeks. Right, pick one which you really, really want to indulge in. Right, for the other 2, let's have a look. Thai's great. Pad Thai, prawns, 500 calories. Or you've got the Thai green curry, which is probably about 500 calories as well with chicken. Or you've got this option. Instead of going in and being like, oh, what do I want? Oh, I want the TGI Fridays large ribs with barbecue sauce, which is about 1,500 calories, by the way. They're not going to make you feel great. It's like, well, is that actually going to benefit me and do I really want it? There's so much more that goes into food than just calories in, calories out. And it's about being mindful about it, planning in advance. And sometimes you're going to want the sticky toffee pudding and you can blooming have it. You can have the sticky toffee pudding and lose body fat. You just can't have it every day. Well, you can, but you won't feel great. Plus, it'll taste rubbish anyway, because if you have it every day, it's just, when you just mindlessly consuming something, it just doesn't taste of anything. So if you cut in Thai food groups, you will miss key nutrients, no dairy, you'll be low in calcium, no carbs, low in fibre, vitamin B. If you go full carnivore, please don't do that. Number 1, please don't do carnivore. If you learn anything from today, don't do that. You're just eating meat, high-fat dairy, and it can build up the cholesterol on your arteries and lead to stroke, heart attack, and just lots of bad things. Eat your vegetables, please. Number 1 rule, eat your vegetables. You can have an effect. So if you're in an extreme diet, it can have an effect on your menstrual cycle. If you're putting yourself into something where your body's not working how it should be, that's not right. I've worked with women who've lost their periods, they've been too restrictive, it's led to eating disorders. Honestly, I've helped women in the past who have struggled with eating disorders. If you do struggle, by the way, I want to add this in, please message me. I can help you. Not as in I'll coach you, but I can either point you in the right direction of some help and support if you are struggling with an eating disorder, or sometimes I can take on cases once they've overcome some of the psychological factors, because it might be a case that you need to go to therapy to overcome it. But if you've gone over that, got past that, sorry, I can help people, but we do things in a different way, and properly you won't be tracking calories because that becomes obsessive. Unfortunately, if you've had something where you become obsessive with it, it's not beneficial to then have something else that's obsessive. I've seen women genuinely damage their health trying to follow extreme diets online, diet trends, and it's so unnecessary and breaks my heart, and they either lose fat and then put it all back on and more, or they don't and they just feel confused and feel useless and they feel like it's their fault. So the balanced approach. So I've talked about my balanced approach and what you should be eating, and I've maintained my weight for years. I've got brilliant energy. I get asked a lot actually, how do you have so much energy? I'm like, I eat well, I drink plenty of water, and I sleep well. This is it. It's the magic tools. Who knew? It does take time, it does take effort. Obviously, you've all got different lives and stresses. You could have children, young children, family commitments, aging parents, teenagers, stressful career, dog, cat, a mouse, a mouse? A fish. We've all got our busy lives going on, social things going on, different commitments. Gosh, one lady I work with, she helps manage the allotment. Does she manage it? Anyway, so fun. But we've got our lives, so it isn't as easy as just waving a magic wand, but I'm here to give you the tools and tips so that you can make the most out of your life, because we only get one. So remember my simple rules. Protein at most meals. Eat vegetables, girls. Not just one meal, daily. Every meal should have protein and veg, right? Come on, most of the time. Mostly whole foods. Enjoy treats without guilt, so pizza on a Friday, chocolate when you fancy it, or meals out with friends. Please enjoy your life as well. Listen to your hunger cues when you're actually hungry and stop when you're satisfied. Stop mindlessly overeating. You don't have to finish everything on your plate. Leftovers are good as well. No food is forbidden, okay? And they're simple enough to follow, flexible enough for real life, healthy enough for results, and enjoyable enough to sustain, okay? So that's the goal. Not perfection, not loads of complicated rules, just sustainable, enjoyable, healthy eating you can maintain for your life. So nutrition doesn't have to be complicated. The basics work, the extremes don't in the long term. Remember that. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But if I sound too good to be true, I'm not. I'm just the truth. Please unfollow anyone that just makes you feel anxious about food or anxious about your body. Even if it's me, just unfollow me. Just do it. I don't want anyone having any negative effect. You don't need their rules. Okay? So, you don't need to be perfect and all foods fit. Thank you very much for listening to this week's episode. Before I go, if you have enjoyed this episode, please like and share with everyone you know. I have got an opportunity for everyone, a free 4-week challenge that I am doing in November. And you might be like, well, why is it free, Helen? Nothing's free in this life anymore. So I'll be honest, I'm being honest with everyone about it. I'm doing a free 4-week challenge. I've already got 250 women in this group that I'm going to be helping, which I can't wait for. And the reason it's free is because, number one, I get to help as many women as possible. Number two, if I get you results, you're going to tell everyone how fantastic I am. So it's free marketing for me. And some of you might then want to sign up to my one-to-one coaching because I've helped you and I've shown you the solution. So it's like a free taster. It's something I did years ago when I worked in the gym in Manchester. And yeah, it's just a chance to help people. So contact me, social media, or send me an email, helen@fitgirlclub.co.uk, and I'll get you in the free challenge. But that's it for this week. I hope you learned a lot from that. And next week, we'll be looking at my fitness evolution from cardio queen, terrified of getting bulky, to loving strength training, and why I was wrong about weight training. I was so wrong. I used to be so wrong. It's a good one, so make sure you tune in next week. Remember, progress over perfection always. Food is just food. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your treats, enjoy your life, stop overthinking it, and I'll see you next Wednesday.